Hello, welcome. We're live. It's me, Phil, here in the studio with another Thursday Q&A live. We're counting down to Christmas, aren't we? Not too long to go now. I hope your Christmas parties are getting in your diary and getting played, and you're coming out the other end. We have got a fun article on Christmas parties over on Digital DJ Tips on the website that we published last week, I think. So do go check that out if you want to know our tips on surviving Christmas. Of course, the piece of equipment we have here today in the studio is the Rane 4, which we've done a comprehensive set of reviews over on Digital DJ Tips. So if you haven't seen this new piece of gear and you're interested in finding out more about it, head over to the website. It's currently the top thing on the website, where we've got a controller review. We've also got a look at Serato DJ Pro, which is the software that works with it, including an interview with OP over in Serato's New York office. OP is an extremely knowledgeable DJ who is also totally au fait with the new software and the way it works with the hardware and so on. So go check those things out. We've got a very popular video there talking all about it. And you just saw me flick it on the screen. Also this week, we've been talking about this thing, the YOLObox Pro, which is it's an Android tablet that you can plug, as you can see, loads of things into, cameras and microphones, and mix it all and send it out via a mobile phone SIM card directly to the internet. No computers, no nothing. If you want to live stream your DJ sets or even do the kind of things that we're doing here today, you can do it all on that little box. So we've reviewed that this week as well. So a lot going on the website. Do ask questions about that. And that's what this is all about. It's about asking questions. So this is the Digital DJ Tips headquarters. It's me, Phil, here for the next hour, just chatting DJing with you. You know, we have got 27 DJ courses. We've got tutors like Jazzy Jeff and James Hype, who currently is the #1 biggest selling single of the year on Beatsource. I believe he's the #1 producer on Beatport this year as well. He's doing absolutely brilliantly. So well done, James. So yeah, we've got James, we've got Jeff, we've got Layback Luke, DJ Angelo, several incredible tutors, and ourselves, but we also like to do these free shows. And this is just us on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch for an hour, helping you, answering your questions, opening the school up to you, so you can get a flavour of what we do. We do it every week. So if you've joined us for the first time, welcome. Right, shall we get started, people? We've got an awful lot, I'm sure, to get through. I'm going to pull the laptop in like I always do at this point and get the chat box open and see how we're doing. So hello to Martin over on Facebook. Hello to Mixmaster G in the soaking wet Netherlands, who's had to ride his bike through the rain to make it here in time. There's dedication for you. Hello to Kesha, to Charlie and DJ A.D. Foster, David, GM Christian, Soulbra Harmony, who says, I still need to work on my scratching technique. Anyone got any pointers? Yes, go get the free scratch pack from Digital DJ Tips. We can help you with that. Just search Scratch Pack on Digital DJ Tips and you will find it. We've got scratch sounds and free tuition for scratching. Go take a look. Hello to DJ Stu C. Hello on Facebook to Spider, who has our first question, which is awesome. So Spider says, how does the playback of the sampler work? Will you have to sacrifice a channel to do it, or is it on the volume control? So I guess you're talking about this unit here. So a couple of things to talk about on the new Rane 4 from Serato when it comes to the sampler. The first thing is actually really cool, and that is that the pads here on any other Serato controller, if you want to use them with stems, which is of course the big thing about this device, the big thing about this device is it works with stems. You can split acapellas and instrumentals. You can even split an acapella and an instrumental in real time across 2 channels and mix with them both separately. We demo all this in our review that I just showed you. So this is the main thing about this. But the beauty of it is that this controller, unlike any other controller currently out there for Serato, has got a stems setting on the pads. So you've got hot cue, pitch play, roll, save loop, sampler, scratch bank, stems and slicer. So that means that you don't have to sacrifice one of the others in order to use stems, which is a big thing because on most Serato controllers, stems will work, but in order to use them, you have to say, all right, I don't want to use, say, the sampler. I think it's the sampler is the normal one that you have to kind of sacrifice. So on this, you don't have to do that. So that's the first bit of good news. You can use the pads for the sampler and the pads for stems. Now, the second part of your question is, how do you use stems how do you use samples on this unit? Do you have to sacrifice one of your channels? And that is a very good question, because your sampler is in a way a fifth channel, isn't it? You've got two channels here and two channels here, both of which can be controlled by the decks. You've got decks 1 and 3 here, and you can choose which one you want, deck 1, deck 3. Same over here. So you've got 4 decks and 4 channels. So these are all working in that way. Where does the sampler fit in? How do you get the sampler to work? And also, by the way, you can have around the back, you can plug in extra decks, extra line inputs, extra phono, whatever, and have those routed through channels 3 and 4 here as well. And you do that by changing the source at the top here for those 2 channels, USB and line. But we still haven't answered the question, how does the sampler fit in? Well, this is a clever thing. The sampler is here, right? So you can have your samples set on the pads, you can be playing samples, and they'll go through the system, and you have a sample volume here, right? So you can have the sampler playing at the volume you want over your 4 decks. No taking away of a channel, no loss of anything. But if you want to, and this is only if you want to, you can press this button here, which will put the sampler through to channel 4. Now this is cool, because that means you can forget about the volume control there. You've got a volume control now on the channel. You've also got low, mid and high on the channel. You've got filter roll, noise and flanger, depending on where you have these set on the channel. You've got all your hardware effects or software effects, if you're using it with Serato, on the channel. And of course you can then use a crossfader to cut in and out of the sampler. So you could just be chopping a sample in. So you've got the choice of using it either on a channel or separately as effectively a 5th channel, which is really nice. You know, not only do you get to control it on the pads, because Stems has its own pad setting, but you also get to choose whether you use it through the 4th channel or just use it as a 5th channel, but then you sacrifice any effects and so on, and you're just using the sampler level for the sampler. Hope that was helpful. Hope that answered your question. Thank you for the question. Thank you for getting us going. DJ Spider J Hamilton. Hello to 69RJSG on YouTube. Hello to Angad, who's in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So hello to Lou in Florida. Says, hope you and the family are doing well. Likewise, Lou. Hope it's staying tropical and warm there. It's wet here today in Gibraltar. So this question is from Martin, who says, if I'm using TIDAL, as in the streaming service, with my Mixstream Pro, is there a way to analyze the tracks in my playlists before I play out? It's a very, very good question. The Mixstream Pro is a lovely controller. It's one of our favorite controllers out there, because not only does it work with Engine, and you can just use it without any computer, just plug in the unit, it's got Wi-Fi, it will hotspot through your phone or through your Wi-Fi at home, get straight onto TIDAL, SoundCloud, Beatport, Beatsource. Brilliant. Just plug the thing in, get DJing. So you've even got built-in speakers. Nice. It will also, of course, play with your own music if you plug in a USB and stuff like that. But the question is, and it's a controller. It works with virtual DJ as well, which is really cool. So you get a choice of ways of using it. But the question is, will it pre-analyze music on my TIDAL playlists? So here's the issue, right? If you plug that thing in to TIDAL, and you are wanting to know the key of the tracks, the BPM of the tracks, all that kind of stuff, it won't tell you. So you can browse through TIDAL, but you won't get that info. You do on Beatsource and Beatport, they're DJ services, but you don't on TIDAL. So the question is, how do you get around that? Because you want to know the key, you want to know the BPM, you want to know all that stuff, right? So the way to do it, and it's a total workaround, is to prepare your playlists in TIDAL and then set them auto playing, right? So you just leave it overnight playing every track. And then when you get up in the morning, all those tracks will have BPMs and key and all that kind of thing. I've heard that's the only way to do it. I've never done it myself, but I've heard DJs saying that's how they've got around it. If you know a better way, let us know in the comments. So really it's just a case of preparing your playlist ahead of time and doing that, letting them play through. It might end up being that, you know, you're only adding a few songs every week because your playlist of stuff that you've already introduced to the software, so you don't have to do it for the whole playlist every week. But I don't know of another way of doing that. So DJ AD Foster said, don't forget about Joey teaching the dance music course. No, of course not. I don't forget Joey. I don't forget Steve. Don't forget myself. I was just naming the DJs who people who are new to Digital DJ Tips might have heard of, because, hey, no one's heard of us apart from you, wonderful community, right? This is from Christian. Are we expecting stems in Pioneer's Rekordbox anytime soon? Will it be in the new year? Will there be the ability to export stems like Virtual DJ? The truth is, Christian, we don't know. Pioneer are not talking about this. It's not something we've ever heard them mention. So at the moment, there's no kind of sign of it coming. And if it were to happen, we'd be very surprised because there's no sign of it. So at the moment, I would say no, but they must be watching the market because, hey, guess what? There's now one player, Serato, that is counted in the big kind of two, because Serato and Rekordbox are the big two really. Also, Traktor has announced it and Virtual DJ has already got it. So that's numbers 3 and 4 in the market. So really, out of the top 4, it's only Rekordbox that aren't even saying they're going to introduce this. So yeah, it's a thing, right? Stems are definitely a thing, but we don't have any words on that at the moment. Hello, you don't like my music over there in Toronto. Good to see you, my friend. So Laurels says, when you restream and I see Phil, you have your chat on your phone. Can Restream Free do that? Right, okay. This is all about the way we work out our live streams, like the live stream you're watching now. It's always nice when people ask about this because I can just kind of tell you how it works, and I know some people find that fun. Right, so let me show you how we live stream. So the way we do it is, forget the cameras and forget the stuff. I mean, you can see this box here that I keep touching is where we switch all the cameras. So if I want to go overhead, I press the overhead button there, and there we've got the overhead. If I want to zoom in on the pads, I press my zoom button. If I want to go to the back of the unit, I press the back one, or show the CDJs in the corner. But I can also mix the microphones and the audio and all that stuff, right? That all happens over there. We're not talking about that. What we're talking about is what happens next. How we get the signal out to the world, to you on YouTube and you on Facebook and you on Twitch. Well, not on Facebook for DJs because you'd get taken off immediately for live streaming. But in this case, we don't play any music, so we're on Facebook. How do we get it out to all those different services? And how do we get all the chat in so I know what you're saying to us? So that's what I want to show you. So it's in 2 parts, really. The way we get it out to the world is by using a service called Restream. This is what Restream looks like. I'm now giving you a look at my computer, screen. This is in front of me. This is actually going on in front of me. So this is me. This is what's going out live, and this is going to do that thing where you just get to see me and then me and then me and then me and then me going into the distance. So this is actually what everyone's seeing. Down here are all the services that we're currently live on. So you can see Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. And it tells me the number of people who are tuned in on those platforms as well. And I get a bit of other stuff here. But the interesting thing is we get this as well. And this is chat. This is coming in live from, as you can see, it's coming in from Facebook and Twitch and YouTube. It tells me where people are, their name and what they're asking. And so I get this on the computer. You don't normally see this because I don't normally show you this. I'm just looking at it on the computer here as we're chatting and reading off the comments. And Restream, that piece of software that I just showed you, does that for us. Restream takes all the comments from all the different platforms and sends it down to me, and I can have them there on my computer so I can see what you're asking and I can reply to you. So it's a clever little piece of software, and it's not cheap. I think it costs us like $80 a month or something to have all the functionality that we want in that. Obviously, we're a big company and that's okay. But I think you can get the chat to work, as I was just showing you in the free version. You download this little app called Restream Chat. And if you want to do it on your phone, which you often see me doing, because let's say I've got a guest, and the guest is taking up the laptop, right? So when I cut to that camera there, you don't see the comments, you see the guest's face, right? I can't then have the comments running on there as well. So I just open this app called Restream Chat. It's just a web app on my phone, and I can read them from there. So that's how we do it anyway. It's cool. And if you want to use this for live streaming your DJ sets, you can do it straight to Mixcloud. Restream will work with Mixcloud. You can do it straight to Twitch and straight to YouTube, all of which normally you'll get away with. I mean, Twitch is fine as long as you don't want to keep the recording. YouTube generally, although you could get taken off, some tracks will get you taken down on YouTube. And Mixcloud is totally legal. So there's places you can use Restream to go live in different places from, and then the comments will come in apart from Mixcloud. Unfortunately, the comments don't come in from Mixcloud. I spoke to Mixcloud at ADE in Amsterdam a couple of months ago and said, come on guys, get it sorted. DJs want it. So you're a DJ site, sort it. So hopefully they will. But right now, it doesn't work that way. So I do think the certainly if not the free version, Loris, then definitely the first paid version up will let you do that. Hello SQ Squad, hello to Scott, hello to Philip Tan, hello to DJ ASB in Switzerland, Tech Savvy Hero, hello to you, DJ Nigel on Twitch, and Euronation Live on Twitch. I know football, that's all I'm going to say. Then this comes from Mellow Mel on YouTube. And Mellow Mel says, using Serato stems, which is Serato's ability to separate a track into drums, vocals, melody, and bass line, just announced. Using Serato stems, when you put songs in the stems crate, through the songs also have stems on them in their original crate location. Are you saying that you can actually see the a cappella and the drums and all that stuff in Serato Studio? That's pretty cool. I need to have a look at that. That'd be well cool to have the individual files. Thank you for that. I think you're telling me that, not asking. If you're asking, I don't know, but if you're telling me, that's cool. I'll go and check out Serato Studio. Not looked at it for a while. So Brian, hello Brian on Facebook, who says, I cannot wait to check out the courses I bought on Black Friday. Yeah, we did. Thousands of people joined our school and got new courses. We've been very, very, very busy since Black Friday, helping you all in the comments and making sure that you're getting the help you need. So thank you if you're one of our new students, and I hope you're getting the help you need and you're enjoying your courses. But no rush, our courses are for life, so you start when you want. I bet you've got some time off over Christmas and New Year that you're already earmarking for this stuff, right, Brian? So this is from Sammy, who says, is there a formula for unplugging and plugging in a DJ controller? We once wrote an article on this and we got slagged off, people saying, oh God, if you don't you know that already, you know, and all this stuff. And we're like, well, no, not everyone does. Not everyone's a pro DJ. And it's worth talking about this. The really important thing is, before you turn off any DJ equipment, turn off your speakers. My speakers are here and here. I've got my hands on them both now. You can just not see them. But turn off your speakers, because if you turn off DJ gear with the speakers turned on, you get that big pop going through the speakers. It's normally all right, but look, you don't want to risk damaging them, right? Why risk damaging your speakers? I did something really silly with our speakers yesterday. I was unscrewing something near the tweeter, and I took my eye off the screwdriver and it went doof right into the tweeter, and I thought I'd damage them, but I think I've got away with it because there's a microphone in there, a magnet in there. So the screwdriver went poof. I was like, no. Anyway, I think we've got away with it. So yeah, turn your speakers off before you turn off your DJ gear, and then turn them on after you turn your DJ gear on, right? And also turn them down. So the last thing you want to do is turn your speakers up, and the first thing you want to do when you're turning everything down is turn your speakers down, and then turn them off. So that way you're protecting your speakers. So the rule is kind of like go from the speakers back when you're turning off. So yeah, it's a good question, and it's not the kind of thing that all DJs are bold enough to ask, but hey, we're here to help you with everything, so thank you for asking that. This is from Mixmaster G, who says, I really like the OLED displays on the 4. These are the OLED displays. They're not showing anything at the moment because I haven't got the unit plugged in, but these displays here show you all kinds of information about what you've got set, and I really like them on the hot cues, because on the hot cues in Serato you can label your hot cues. So you can not only give them colors, so these are all colored, but you can label them. So you can say start or vocal or drop or outro. But you can see more letters on here than you can actually on the software itself. So you can have longer labels that mean more, and you can actually read the whole thing down here, whereas on the software, it will truncate it, which is really cool. And it's very useful for stems as well, because it tells you what you're doing. So yeah, these little screens are great. There's another little one in the middle as well here that tells you how you've got your effects set, which is also useful. So yeah, I agree with you. These screens are really good on this. So this is from Phil, who says, I'm planning to get a Denon SC Live 4 after Christmas. Do you have an engine DJ software course planned, as I've never used it before? I'd imagine it's very similar to Serato and Rekordbox. Yes, it is. Listen, we've got a guide to the Prime 4, which I think would be the best thing for you. It's free. If you head over to our YouTube, I'll show you how you can find it now. Head over to our YouTube then, and In fact, you don't even have to head to our YouTube, just head to YouTube. There we are live at the moment on YouTube, isn't that cool? And type into the top, type in Prime 4 guide. And you should see somewhere near the top our Prime 4 training tutorial and video manual, and there it is. So click on that, and in here I will talk you through everything you need to know about the Prime 4, which is very, very similar to the SC Live that you own. So by the end of that, 90% of that stuff is going to be totally relevant to you, and you'll have everything you need to know in order to be able to use your unit effectively. It's quite easy, really. The main thing is you need to download the software for your laptop and analyze your music ahead of time and put that onto a USB. But also use it with a streaming service. It's so much fun using the Engine gear with streaming services. It's just immediate. You can just be sat there thinking, oh, I just want to play. You can literally hear a hit on the radio or on the TV. You can load that exact track. You can have it playing over the one on the TV by the time the one's finished on the TV, in time, beat mixed. Turn the TV off and use that as your inspiration for a half-hour mix. You just can't do that with your own music because you might not own the track. And of course, wherever you found it on TIDAL or BeatSource or wherever, you're also going to find similar music. I think for discovery and for just DJing informally at home, streaming services are really, really cool. So I'm predicting you're going to enjoy that. Let's grab another live question. Let's talk about something that I want to show you. Check this out. This is an old record deck, a really old record deck that has been given a new lease of life by one of our viewers. So this is from Stretch the Vinyl on Instagram. So go look for Stretch the Vinyl on Instagram, and vinyl spelled V-Y-N-I-L. So shout out to Stretch the Vinyl on Instagram, who got in touch and said, hey, can we send you one of our decks? And this is the one they sent to put on our back wall. And it's an old Spanish portable turntable that's years and years and years old. And he's ripped all the insides out and put a clock on it. So this is the actual time here in Gibraltar now. It is now 5:25 in the afternoon, past 4 in the afternoon actually. I need to move that hour hand a bit, it's a bit confusing. And yeah, he makes these, and he says he's got a steady supply of old record decks from his local recycling place or wherever, where they put them to one side for him. They know him, and he takes them and does this with them. He does some really other clever stuff with old vinyl as well. He turns old vinyl into cones and then turns those into like amplifiers for your phone. So you can put your phone with a tiny little phone speaker underneath a cone made out of an old record, and it just makes your phone louder. Really cool. So yeah, check him out, Stretch the Vinyl. Thank you very much for that. Stretch the Vinyl, spelled V-Y-N-I-L, on Instagram. Our latest addition to our wall here at the back. And if you've got any suggestions for the wall, by the way, this one was from Ivan, one of our viewers. Please feel free to pitch them to us. We will always listen to you, we'll always give you an answer. And if we like the idea, we might take it and stick it on the wall. This is to tell you to not troll and not flame. This is DJing we're talking about, not international politics. So keep it calm and polite, and use the hashtag ask, and only ask once, because if you cut and paste your question into our chat, we will just ignore you because that's rude. So thank you, Ivan, for doing that. He heard me say it so many times that he made me a one of those British style what do you call that, pictures? Yeah, picture, canvas on a frame. Anyway, I wanted to show you the record deck because that was new and I do like it. Little Christmas present for us. Thank you, Stretch the Vinyl. Right, let's grab another question. So Phil says, I did watch the 2-hour Prime video you made. Oh, well done, Phil. But I'm guessing Engine has updated since. Nah, hasn't updated that much. Again, 90% of it's the same. But also, you can just ask any questions. We'll help you, either here or just ask them in the Global DJ Network Facebook group. If you're not a member of Global DJ Network, you should be. Just search Global DJ Network on Facebook, you'll find us. And if you're a student, ask in Student Hub and you'll get an answer immediately from the tutors. So you also say, how do I submit a question for the student classes in Student Hub? And if you are a student of ours, sorry, we're talking about the courses a bit here, but people are asking, if you are a student, then whenever you find a lesson in a course that you want help with, there's always underneath that course a place for you to ask, and we will get back to you within a working day, because that's what we do. That's our job. Right, let's grab another live question. This one is from, by the way, Phil, that's not to say we're not going to make a SC Live 4 guide. It's just that we haven't got time to make them all as soon as these units come out. So if we see the unit really taking off, we'll make a guide. This is from Rocco, who says, "Hi Phil, I was privileged a few weeks ago to be mentioned by you." Oh, shut up, Rocco. Anyway, Rocco from Glastonbury, nice to see you again. I bought the Pioneer SR2. It's now in stock, hooray. I'm loving your videos. Oh, well, I'm glad you've got yourself a controller, and it's a timeless one, that. So you've got a good controller there. I hope you enjoy it. And we're looking forward to helping you some more. So you don't like my music, says jogs with screens in the middle are always a nice touch. Yeah, screens in the middle of jogs are good. I mean, it depends upon the controller, right? Because we were just talking about the Denon DJ Prime 4. That's actually got very little in the screen, even though it's got screens in the middle. Just shows you the artwork, really. I don't think you can have anything else. Whereas these show you a lot more. You get a little waveform, you get the BPM, you get the key, you get whether you're looping and the tempo and all kinds of stuff, time elapsed. But on the SC Live 4, which we've been talking about because it's the latest engine DJ controller, they've actually started to put more information inside those jogs for the first time ever on an engine controller. So another good thing for that one and the SC Live 2. Thank you for that comment there. So the Ruckus says, I'm using roll. I'm replacing the roll function on my pads so that I can use stems on my controller. So yeah, I think roll is another one. Roll and slicer, sorry, and sampler, maybe slicer. I can't remember. I think it depends what controller you're on, what you have to, or the choices you get for replacing it. So DJ Disco Worm, Happy New Year 2023, Phil. Bit early for that, but we'll take it. Thank you, DJ Disco Worm in the Emerald City. Hello to Jacob on Facebook. Hello to Eddie, who just says, yo. So since stems are implemented, says William, on the Rane, do you think other platforms will follow? Right, so you've mentioned two, Pioneer DJ and Denon DJ, and I can answer both of those for you, one of them definitively. Pioneer DJ is the one I'm not sure about. They might follow. I think they probably will in the end, but when, no idea. Denon, and by Denon, of course, you mean engine, because Denon DJ only makes standalone DJ controllers nowadays. Prime 4, the SC Live 2 and 4, the SC6000, media players, etc. They will not have stems ever. There's no way that can be built into engine. And so certainly for the foreseeable future, you can forget about the idea of having stems on those units because they're just not going to have them. And so if you really wanted it and you want to use standalone DJing, what I would recommend is using one of the other platforms to prepare your songs as stems, record them and put those recordings of the unofficial acapellas and all the other stuff into your engine, and then you've got them there to DJ with, but it won't do them in real time in the way that this unit here does, for instance, which is lovely. You know, it's lovely to be able to do this stuff in real time. It's a really nice controller. We've had it, as you can see, we've had it set up here for a while now. I've been avoiding showing this desk in our videos because it's been sat here for about a month, and obviously we weren't allowed to talk about it till last week, but now I can. We do like it. We do think it's a good unit. Right, so this is for Mixmaster, from Mixmaster G, who says a tip for tidal analysis. Lovely. So good to hear these tips. You know, I was saying earlier that you have to play the whole playlist to get the BPM and the key and all that stuff to be analysed ahead of time when you're using TIDAL on your gear. But Mixmaster G says, here's a tip for tidal analysis in prime gear. Put the tracks in a playlist, which is what I said. Set the pitch fader to 100. That's the thing that I didn't think of. So on the pitch fader, you can set the pitch range on nearly all DJ gear. On this one, it's this button here. And you can set the range so that when you go like that, it goes really, 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 really fast. And so you could play through a whole playlist at double speed just by doing that. So good tip there. Thank you for that, Mixmaster G. This is from Omar. Hello, Omar. Omar says, do you foresee a Pioneer DJ DDJ 1000 Mark II for Serato coming out soon? And how about that and an XDJ 1000 Mark III? I'm curious to find out your thoughts. I'm not sure Pioneer DJ is going to make another standalone XDJ. They've been quiet about that. I might be wrong, but I don't think they'll be making those standalone decks as XDJs anymore. As I say, I might be wrong. A DDJ 1000 SRT Mark II, much more likely that at some point they'll make a Mark II. I think they'll make a Mark II version of the DDJ 1000, which will work with both Serato and Rekordbox. I think this idea of having a separate one for both wasn't received well by the DJ community. I don't think they'll do that again. So I think they will release a Mark II and it'll just work with both platforms. Just my 2 cents. I've got no idea whether this is actually in their thinking. Oh, Clement, you've got my heart there. You've got my heart. Clement says, do you think the Vestax VCI 300 is still good for a beginner DJ? Clement, if you've got one, it's a lovely device. Let me show you, if you're new to all of this, what a Vestax VCI 300 looks like. And the reason I'm so touched by this is that it was the very first DJ controller that I actually bought after taking a break from DJing for quite a while. I bought this device and it's what got me back into DJing after a little bit of a break. And once I got back into DJing, I started Digital DJ Tips. This is back in like 2009. And so this controller, in a way, is responsible for me being doing what I do now and helping DJs for a living. And this is what the lovely VCI 300 looked like. It's really well built. Vestax were a great brand. It was excellently built gear. The jogwheels were wonderful. As you can see, it had no pads. I think it had a couple of cues hidden somewhere at the top. Had no effects. There was a kind of hack where you could just about hack a filter effect into it. But it was a lovely controller, and it changed the world. The VCI 100 before it was kind of like a geeky controller, and then this one came out for Serato, and they just made it easy to use. And it kind of changed the DJing world, made DJs realize it was going to be easy to DJ digitally without needing DVS, which was the only other way to do it at the time. So your question though is it still a good controller for a beginner? If you've got one, as I say, just use it, but I think you'll find that it's pretty hard to get it to work with modern operating systems. You might need to use an older version of your Windows or Mac OS to get it to work, and indeed an older version of Serato as well. So if you've got one, give it a go. But no, don't go buying one. Buy a more modern controller, because you're going to find it's, you know, already very, very obsolescent. Obsolescent? Is that a word? What is the word? Obsolete. That's the word. Already. You probably just about get it to work, but not really. But yeah, I love that controller. Nice to see it again. Everyone's asking about Rekordbox and stems. Pioneer DJ, are you listening? Literally everyone. I've got every third comment is, when's stems going to arrive on Rekordbox? Come on, Pioneer, over to you. So no, we don't know. As I keep saying, we just don't know. Hello to DJ Colonel in Prague. What MacBook do I have to get if I want stems Serato 3.0 and therefore stems? Says Ian. Good question. This is a MacBook. This is just a MacBook Air M1 though, so this isn't the most powerful by any means, but it is modern. So I would say if you're going to buy a MacBook, just get one of the MacBooks with the modern chips in, the M1 or the M2. Should be fine, will be fine for stems. Don't get anything older than that. I mean, it would work fine, I'm sure, on a powerful MacBook Pro with an old Intel processor, but go for an M chip in the MacBook and you should be fine. DJ Monster, I've been looking at the Denon DJ X1850 for a while. Where's our X1850 so I can hold it up while we're talking about it? There it is. This is the X1850 from Denon DJ. Let's get it on the front camera. This is their version of the Pioneer DJ M900 Nexus 2, basically. It's their version of this one here. It's a lovely mixer. I mean, it's a standard mixer. It's got effects. It's got 4 channels. There's nothing in here that would, if all you'd ever used was this stuff, and you walked up to the mixer I've got in my arms here in a club, you would take about 2 minutes to figure out where everything is and use it. It's, you know, it's just a very, very standard mixer deliberately. It's a club layout. So the question there was from from DJ Monster. I've been looking at it for a while, but most people steer clear of it. Is it not good? I would say it's not that it's not good, it's just that if you're going to buy a club mixer, everyone just goes for this one. It's like, you know, this is what you find in clubs, so this is what people go for. And so I just think it's not popular for that reason, just because it's no different to Pioneer. It doesn't do anything different from the Pioneer mixers. And it isn't a Pioneer mixer, and so it just comes across in the marketplace as a bit of a copy. So Mixmaster G is saying, I don't actually like the mixer at all. I got an X1800, which is technically identical to the 1850, but I took a Zone DB4 for my SC6000M kit. It's a world of difference. So Mixmaster G prefers to use a older but a lot of fun mixer, the old Zone DB4, rather than that. I mean, it doesn't really matter what mixer you use, to be honest. There's nothing special about that one. I'll put it away again now. There's nothing on it that you need if you're going to use it with your Denon decks. Maybe you don't want to use it with the Denon decks. Maybe you just like the look of it. I would say, you know, one of my favorite mixers actually, because I'm a Serato user, you know, away from work, I just use Serato. One of the mixers I've always thought is a little bit underrated is the Zone 43C, this one here. It's not massively expensive. It's just a nice little mixer. Maybe have a look at that one. I mean, it hasn't got much in the way of effects on it, but I'm not really an effects user anyway. But I've always liked this. It's a good one. But anyway, I digress. Let me put that away and we'll continue with the show. Right, we're here live, people. It's Phil with Digital DJ Tips Posse on the computer, asking questions. If you've just joined us, it's just our weekly free for all. It's our weekly question session. And if you don't know what you've joined, we are the world's biggest online DJ school. By the way, I always have to say this at some point, or my team will say, Phil, you forgot. If you want a copy of our book, so if you were on Amazon and you searched for Learn to DJ, this is what would come up. It's the #1 selling book on Amazon on how to DJ. You can buy the book in bookshops, you can get it on your Kindle, you get an audio book with me reading it, you can get all those formats and stuff. But if you want a copy for nothing, join Digital DJ Tips. It's free to join. Just head over to the website and click on the big join links. They're all over the place. And we'll give you a copy as our latest member. So click on that one, that big one there that I've hovered my mouse over here. And we'll also give you the gear guide. And the gear guide is cool because especially if you're planning on buying DJ gear, this will stop you making expensive mistakes. So grab a copy of the gear guide and grab a free copy of the book on us for joining. So click that thing on the homepage. Thing, I think you probably call it a banner. You'll go to this page here where you can put in your email address, grab yourself a copy of the book. But more importantly, you'll become the latest member of Digital DJ Tips, and that comes with benefits, not least our weekly Tuesday Tips email, which is accompanying our Tuesday Tips live show, which is every Tuesday at the same time as this one. And the email's got everything you've missed on the website for the last week, plus stuff from our tutors and stuff from the DJ world at large. We scour all the other websites and all the DJ sources and share the best of what they're up to as well. So you get this newsletter every week, which has got everything you need to know in one place if you're trying to become a better DJ. Right, enough about us, more about you. Let's get to the questions. Where have we got to? We've got to Jacob on Facebook, who says, I bought Mixed in Key and Platinum Notes in the Black Friday sale. Is there a preferable order in which to use these before importing my tracks into Serato? Right, so Mixed in Key is Mixed in Key's software that analyzes your music for musical key and adds that information to your music. And in doing that, you can then do all the cool stuff with harmonic mixing, right? That's what that is. Platinum, which you don't need, by the way, because all DJ software has got that built in nowadays, but it's still the best of the bunch. It still does a better job than anything else. And Platinum Notes is a auto mastering app that does a few clever things, and it divides DJs right down the middle. Platinum Notes takes any musical file you give it and it corrects all kinds of things. It makes the volume as loud as possible without it being distorted, so that when you put them all into your DJ software, they've all got nice fat waveforms and you don't have to turn some tracks up more than others to get them more or less at the same volume, which is useful. It also adds back some dynamic range, which means that nowadays a lot of music, the loud bits are loud and the quiet bits aren't much quieter. So it's quite tiring to listen to. So Platinum Notes can add a little bit of that loud and quiet back into the song and just allow it to breathe a bit more. And it also repairs any damage in the file. So if it's got some distortion, if it's got loud bits that are a bit too loud and they don't sound so good, it will fix those. But also it will correct the key. So if the musical key is not on a note, so imagine I had a piano keyboard, right? Every song is in a musical key, right? So every song will start and have a root note that's one of the notes on a piano keyboard. Could be C, could be F, whatever. What if, for some reason, a music file doesn't have that? Its note is somewhere between two of these notes. It could be because of the way it was mastered, it was ripped from vinyl, it was whatever reason. The producer was he just had a big joint and he thought, oh, this would be really cool, I'll put it somewhere in the middle. What if that happened? Then it's not in C, it's not in B, it's in B1/2, right? That's okay unless you want to harmonically mix with that song, because even with the key analysis done, it's not on a note. So if you mix it with something else, it will sound slightly wrong. So Mixed in Keys Platinum Notes will also look at the key of the song and move it very slightly up or down so it sits properly on the nearest actual note in an actual keyboard. And that's useful if you're really into key mixing. So it does all this stuff automatically. The downside is, do you really want a piece of software automatically playing with your new music without you knowing what it's doing? Some people love the idea, some people hate the idea, and some people just can't be bothered. If you don't like the idea or you can't be bothered, you don't need this software. If you really like the idea and you listen to the results and you like them, hey, go for it. You've obviously gone for it and you want to know what order to use the software in. So this is the important thing. It doesn't really matter when you use Mixed in Key to add that key information to your track, because that's non-destructive. It just adds it. So like a music file has got the music, but most music files have also got space somewhere in the way that they work to add the title, some artwork, the genre, and then you can add stuff to that as well. Like if you add comments to a music file, you can have those comments move around with the file, right? So there's all kinds of things you can add to music files. A Mixed in Key will just add key information to the music file. So it's there, but the music file hasn't been re-recorded or changed or anything. And so it doesn't really matter, you can do it whenever you want. Platinum Notes is different. Platinum Notes loads the file, does its cool stuff, and then saves it out as a new file. So at that point, you've got the original file and you've got the new one. And only at that point do you want to tell your DJ software about that file, because there's two versions of it and you only want it to know about the new version, right? So if you've already put it in your DJ software, it knows about the old version, and then you do this thing to it, there's now a duplicate with hopefully some improvements made. And now you've got two versions, which you don't want. So definitely, and if you've done any work on the old version, put it into playlists, done cue points, done loops and all that stuff, you'll lose all that when you put the new version in. So definitely do this stuff before you introduce any new music to your DJ software. The best thing to do if you want to use this piece of software is do it immediately. As soon as you get a new track, just run it through it, done. That's it. Put the old one somewhere safe on a removable hard drive on the top of your wardrobe, wherever, somewhere safe, so you've got the original in case you ever need it, and just use the new version from now on in. I hope you enjoy using that software. Let us know what you think about it, Jacob, and thank you for the question. Hello to Cat's Groove. Good morning to you. Hello to no, got that totally wrong. No, that's unreadable. Anyway, it begins with an M. Hello, beginning with an M. This question is from Charlie. Charlie says, Phil, I've had a few questions. In my FLX4 manual, where's the FLX4? Where's the FLX4? The new Pioneer DJ controller. Here it is. The replacement for the DJ 400. In my FLX4 manual, it says, connect your USB power adapter or mobile battery to the unit's USB port for power supply, using a USB cable to turn the unit on. Can I use the USB power adapter that I use with my Apple MagSafe charger for my iPhone to power the Flex 4? So let's answer that question first, and let's have a look at the back of the Flex 4, because it's quite an unusual controller, this one. So at the back of this instead of having the usual, so this is the usual type of USB you get on a controller, right? This kind of big clunky, I call them printer USBs. They're actually technically called USB-B connectors. That's what you normally get. This one is different. It's one of the first controllers to actually have USB-C. And USB-C is more like what you get on Android phones and on iPads, right? So these little USB-C connectors. And so this makes it quite flexible because you can use it with mobile devices when they release mobile software for this later on, and so on. Now, you don't actually need to power the unit at all if you're using it with a laptop. Just plug a laptop USB in across to your laptop and that will work. There's no need to plug power into it at all. Your question is, can you plug the Apple adapter in, the one that came from with your computer, to power that? Now, it's a question I've not heard asked before. I don't think that there'd be a problem with that, but I don't know. So if anyone in the comments has got an idea about that, let us know. Now, Charlie, you've been good. You've asked your question on Facebook, which is the best place to ask your question because it stays there afterwards. And that means that if no one helps us out live with this, someone can help you out in the comments afterwards. Whereas on YouTube, they're all in that chat thing that kind of disappears. So I don't think there'll be a problem with that. But the only reason you'd want to do it in the first place would be if you were using a phone or an iPad with it and you wanted to charge that device as you were using it. Now, at the moment, you can't use a phone or iPad with this controller because it's not got any apps for it that work with it. I don't think DJ Pro AI yet works with this, which is the only big app on iPad and iPhone. Rekordbox are releasing one, but it's not there yet. So at the moment, you'd be using this with a Mac or a Windows computer, in which case you don't need to do that because it takes its power from the computer quite happily, and then you plug the computer into the power. That's how that works. But yeah, good question, because it's got two USBs, one for the computer and one for the power supply. And the answer is, I don't know. Time will tell, or someone will tell us. Thanks for the question, Charlie. Philip is giving a big thumbs up for Restream. We were talking about Restream a little bit earlier. What time are we on, by the way? 10 minutes to go, people. As always, I'm only going to get about halfway through the questions, so ask your questions early, please, and we'll, get to them next week. Come a bit earlier, ask a bit earlier. This is from Alex, who says, it's my first time here. I'm currently living in China. Hello, Alex. Bit late night over there now, I guess. My quick question, any possibility to use tracks from, say, BPM Supreme or DMS to DJ with, like a streaming service like TIDAL or Spotify? Or is it too much of a crazy idea? Yeah, okay, so you want to download your tracks from your streaming services and then access them in the same way that you can access TIDAL and Spotify. In other words, just plug in your device and they're there without you having to actually carry them around physically. It's not a crazy idea, and you can actually already do it. You can use Dropbox music on engine DJ equipment, so you can put all your own music, whether you've downloaded it from DJ pools or from normal stores like iTunes Store, or Amazon, or TrackSource, or Juno, or Beatport, or wherever. All the music you bought that you own, you can put it all into your Dropbox, and then you can access that on Engine DJ Prime equipment from Denon, and also the Mixstream Pro that we looked at earlier from Numark. And also you can do it on this gear as well, because as long as your Pioneer gear is all networked up, the Pioneer CDJ 3000s can access Dropbox as well via the Rekordbox Pro subscription version of their software. So I'm pretty sure you can do that with other Rekordbox gear as well. We need to take a closer look at that. We haven't actually looked at that closely enough yet, and we should. So yes, you can already do it. It's not a crazy question at all, Alex. In fact, you come up with a good idea. Unfortunately, Pioneer and Denon got there before you. But great question. Thank you for that question. I'm glad to have helped. I'm going to have a sip of my water in my Digital DJ Tips branded cup. Thirsty work, answering questions. Let's scroll down and try and help some people a bit later on, because we don't normally do that. So let's grab something which is asked within the last half hour. This is from Martin, who says, I'm using my Numark Scratch, which is a mixer for Serato DVS. Every time I turn it off and leave the settings where I like them, when I turn it back on, I have to redo my settings to make it sound good. This doesn't seem right. What settings are you talking about, Martin? I'm not sure. You know, a mixer's got knobs and buttons on it and stuff, which are they're just hardware. So I don't understand. I don't really understand. You need to give us a bit more information there, and we'll see if we can help you more if you give us some more detail. So this is from the Ruckus on YouTube. Are the jog wheels on this tension like adjustable? Can you make them harder or easier to spin? No, you can't. But I'm going to tell you now, these jog wheels are absolutely brilliant. There's absolutely no wobble on them, and they're very, very, very accurate. I love these jog wheels. They're full size. They're 8.5 inch. So while there is no tension adjust on these, they are very, very nice jog wheels. And the vinyl on the top is a nice touch as well. So this is from Positive T, who isn't asking a question. Positive T is just saying, what a great way to start the day. It's 7:30 here. Time to get going. 7:30 a.m. that is. So where are you? You are West Coast, right? Guessing. Have we got anyone in Hawaii? What time is it in Hawaii at the moment? So then this is from someone on Facebook who says, a week or so ago, you mentioned a controller with a smart crossfader. Sounds interesting. What controller is that? Or is it something that you can map in Virtual DJ? Right, the controller I was talking about is this one, the one I was just holding up. The Flex 4 from Pioneer DJ. So I'm going to put this down here, and I'm going to put the overhead camera on, and I'm going to explain how this works. So look how tiny it is next to our big Rane 4. So this crossfader is quite clever. It's called Smart Fader, and you can press this button here. And so when you press this button, let's say we're there, right? We're on the left-hand deck. There's something playing here. This is 120 BPMs, and this track is 100 BPM. By engaging Smart Crossfader, by pressing this button here, when we hit play on here, it'll do three things. The first thing it'll do is lock the beats together so that we don't have to worry about sync or anything like that. So this one will be playing at 120, even though it's a 100 BPM song, because this one's at 120, right? As we start to move this across to the middle, it will slow this track down to 110, or rather, yeah, slow that down, and this one as well, and this will then therefore be getting closer to its original BPM of 100. As we get to there, this one will be playing at 100, and this one will be playing at 100 as well, its original BPM. So it'll do that big BPM change as you pull the crossfader across, and in the middle, it'll be halfway. As well as that, it will do this. Now, DJs do this all the time. I'm sure you've seen them do it. On the bass controls, you'll mix something in and the bass will be down. And then as you mix it in, you want to swap the bass over so that when you get rid of this track, finally, there's no bass in it. So the bass is the thing people notice when it goes away more than anything. So swapping the bass is a time-honored DJ technique. It'll do that for you. So it's the second thing you don't have to do. And the third thing it will do, as you get to the end here, it'll put a nice little echo over the end of this. So if this is going doom, tch, doom, tch, as you hear it here, it'll go and disappear nicely. It's called Smart Fader because basically it does a smart little blend between two tracks for you. Now people are like, oh no, that's, you know, this is killing the art of DJing. Will people stop putting toys out that are taking my job from me? Nah, 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 nah. And it's rubbish. Look, there's no way that that is going to replace any professional DJ who has got any pride in their job. It's just a cool little thing. You know, the best professional DJs will say, that's cool. How can I use that to enhance my DJ sets rather than bleating on about nah, nah, nah. So look, it's cool. It's really cool. And it's also cool if you're just DJing from a streaming service. Let's say everyone's come back to your house after you've been on a night out, you've been to a festival, you get your gear out, and everyone's like, oh, you know, YouTube, right? People are always like trying to play tracks on YouTube. No. We'll get the DJ gear out, and you play the tracks on the DJ gear, and now you've got a way of mixing between what everyone's picking, which in any respectful situation doesn't belong in the same DJ set at all, right? So now you can mix from the hip hop track to the old rock record to the house track and so on. Quickly like this, using those smart features. It's cool. So it's on the DDJ Flex 4 from Pioneer DJ, and it's built into Rekordbox software when you plug that controller in, and it's called Smart Fader. I think I said it was called Smart Fader. That's what it is. Yeah, it's a good thing. So thanks for asking that over on Facebook. You're on our global DJ network group, and I don't know your name because they don't come across into our software. It's one of the problems with that. Right, so this is from Bowling 300, who's obviously bought Jazzy Jeff's course, because Bowling 300 says, I like the sign in the background on Jazzy Jeff's course that says music is not what I do, it's who I am. Yes, indeed. So this is from Foxtopia Minecraft, who says, what are your thoughts on Serato snubbing users of controllers such as the DJ505 and the 707M in the 3.0 for remapping stems? I lose pad functionality in other modes when I'm remapping with Serato. Look, Serato will do everything they can to make everything that they've ever made work with their gear, but sometimes it's just not possible technically to do it. So what do I think of it? They're not snubbing you at all. They're doing everything they can, and it's just not possible in that gear. So that's what I think of it. It's just whatever it is, if they could do it, they would do it. So is the Rane 4 as big as a Pioneer SZ or SZ? No, it's not. It's more like a little bit bigger than a Pioneer DJ XDJ RX3. I held it up against the RX3. In fact, I can hold it up against the RX3 now for you and show you, because the RX3 is a controller I have in my arms off camera as we speak. So let's get an RX3. Here it comes. You ready? It's coming in from the bottom, people. There is an RX3, and now I'll zoom the camera out a bit and show you the difference in size between these two. So there is the Rane, and there's the Pioneer. So just a little bit wider, you can see, but not very much. So if you're going to compare it to anything, the RX3 is a little bit deeper than the Rane. But if you're going to compare it to anything, that's probably a good one. And for fun, let's look at it against the Flex 6 from Pioneer DJ as well, which is another controller at the other end of the scale, but it has got the same size jog wheels, and see what it's like against the Flex 6. So there's the Flex 6, and you can see it's a little bit bigger than that one. Like I say, the jog wheels, though, are exactly the same size, 8.5 inch. So hopefully that gives you an impression of the size of the unit. It's metal as well. I mean, I just picked up the Flex 6 there with one hand. There's no way I'd be picking up the Rane 4 with one hand, that's for certain. DJ Ginormous, you're late to the party, my friend. How's it going? Are you all right? Hello to Mike, who says, you're awesome. Don't know if that was to DJ Ginormous or me. But anyway, someone's awesome. That's the important thing. This is from Mark, the military DJ. Why is it that Denon Prime software will only analyze one type of formatted MP3s? Just FAT32. Right, you're getting confused here. FAT32 is the format of your SD card or your USB drive. It is, when you get a fresh USB or SD card or hard drive, you have to format it. You have to wipe it in a certain way, so it's a special kind of blank. And there's a Mac way, there's a PC way, and all this. Now, a lot of DJ gear, for reasons that escapes me, requires you to do that in a certain way. It's normally FAT32, which is kind of like an old way of doing it. And that just makes it universally compatible. I don't know why they do that. It's the same with this gear here. It's the same with, apparently, Engine. I've no idea. I can't remember the last time I formatted a card for Engine. But once you've done that, you can put music on that drive in any format you want. You know, it supports nearly all the music formats. So you're not tied to a certain type of MP3 or anything like that, but you have to do your formatting in that way in the first place. And the answer is, I don't know why that's the case. I don't know why it has to be like that. To me, maybe it just keeps things simple. I don't know. But anyway, it's arbitrary. It doesn't matter. It's easy to do. You just do it. And once it's done, it's done. Guys, girls, we're running out of time now. I know there's lots and lots of DJs asking comments here. If you haven't had your comment answered, I'm sorry. Typing it again and again and cut and pasting it in capitals is not going to get it answered. It's just going to get you banned by the moderators. Sorry, people, we cannot answer everything. We do try, but I've got down to 1636 and I've had to skip loads. So look, I'm going to give you a bit of advice now. If you find these genuinely useful, and I know a lot of people do, the best way to get every DJing question you ever want answered by us, by the Digital DJ Tips team, not only me, but Steve, Jeff, James, and everyone else, is to buy a DJ course from us. Because as soon as you own just one DJ course, just one course, and we've got an awful lot of courses, right? So there's plenty to choose from. Go take a look on the courses page. As soon as you own just one of these courses, you get access to the Digital DJ Tips Student Hub Facebook group. And once you're in the Student Hub Facebook group, you get access to not only the tutors, but also all the other students who can help, and a show just like this one, but with Steve as well, who is the other big tutor in our team, and me. And together we just talk DJing with you guys regularly. It's called Student Live. It's just like this, but instead of having thousands of people, there's a few dozen of us. And so you always get your questions answered. It's an awesome place to hang out, and it's the best way if you find this stuff useful. And the beauty is you buy any course and you get access to that forever. There's no time limit on it, there's no subscription. Buy anything from us and you're in that group forever. So look, we built that community to help you become better DJs. What we do here live every week, and we do it every week. We take a couple of weeks off over Christmas, but and we don't do it in the summer, but basically in school term time, we do these. We try our hardest to answer everything, but of course there's 500,000 people on the Facebook, there's 300,000 people on YouTube, and there's people on Twitch as well. It's too busy, we can't do everyone. So look, become a student. It's all I can say. It's the best way to get your questions answered. That's the best way to do it. The worst way to do it is to cut and paste them over and over again, because you won't get them answered and you'll get a ban from the mods. Right, done. People, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. I'm so sorry we can't just carry on for hours, but I've actually got to now go and install. Do you want to see quickly what I'm installing? I'm going to run off camera and show you. I'm going to install this. It's a special microphone that you plug in. So this is what it looks like. I'll show you on the overhead camera. It's a special microphone. You plug it into a piece of software called SonarWorks. And SonarWorks is really clever software, because SonarWorks will take your audio in your room. So I'm going to plug this in and it's going to listen to the room. It's going to listen to my speakers here. And it's going to analyze how the speakers sound, how the room sounds, what the resonances are, and so on. And it's going to create a file. And that file can be used to correct the speakers whenever you play music through them. And the reason I'm testing it is that these speakers I've got here are Adam Audio A4Vs, are the new A series from Adam Audio. And you upload that file to the speaker itself. And then whenever you play anything through the speaker, old vinyl, DJ gear, production, it will correct the audio for the exact positioning, the speakers themselves, and the room you've got them in, so it sounds as flat and as true as possible. It's incredible technology, and that's what I'm going to do now. I've got to get this done now, because it has to be finished by the end of today for the video to be edited tomorrow. So that's what we're doing. We're testing this little microphone here from SonarWorks. It's called Sound ID Reference. So look out for the review. Anyway, for that reason, I do have to go, people. So from me in the studio, get good, get out there, make the moments. Until next time, take care. Bye for now.